The rain poured relentlessly on my car's windshield as I drove through the desolate countryside. The rhythmic thumping of raindrops, accompanied by the sound of my wipers, made the night feel eerie and isolated. I was on my way back home after a long day at work, and the late hour only added to the sense of solitude. The road ahead seemed to stretch on forever, with only the occasional flicker of streetlights to break the darkness. My eyes were tired, and the constant drumming of rain was lulling me into a trance-like state. I rolled down the window slightly to let in some fresh air, hoping it would help me stay alert. As I continued my journey, a strange sensation started to creep up on me, the feeling of being watched. I shook it off, attributing it to exhaustion and the eerie setting, but the unease persisted, growing stronger with every mile. My heartbeat quickened, and I stole glances at the rearview mirror, half expecting to see something lurking in the darkness behind me. I turned up the radio, trying to distract myself from the unsettling sensation. The static-filled music seemed to echo through the emptiness, intensifying the feeling of isolation. A flash of lightning illuminated the road ahead, revealing a figure standing by the side. It was a hitchhiker, drenched in rain, their face hidden under a hood. Normally I wouldn't stop for strangers on a deserted road, but the thought of sharing the journey with someone else offered some comfort. Against my better judgment, I pulled over and rolled down the window to offer a ride. "Hey, need a lift?" I called out, my voice trembling slightly. The hitchhiker stepped closer, and as they moved into the glow of my car's headlights, I saw their face, or what was left of it. The sight was horrifying. Pale, mottled skin, sunken eyes, and a gash across their throat. My heart leapt into my throat, and I screamed, slamming on the gas pedal, leaving the hitchhiker behind. My breaths came in rapid bursts as I sped away, my mind racing with questions. Was it real? Was I hallucinating? The rain poured harder, obstructing my view, and I struggled to regain my composure. The events of the night had thrown me into a state of panic, and my surroundings felt distorted, as if I had entered a nightmare. I decided to stop at the nearest gas station to calm myself down and assess the situation. As I pulled into the dimly lit station, I noticed that I was the only customer there. The eerie silence was broken only by the creaking of a broken sign swinging in the wind. I stepped out of the car, the rain soaking me instantly. My hands shook as I reached for my phone to call for help. However, I was met with disappointment as I realized I had no signal. Panic surged through me again, and I desperately tried to think of a plan. I decided to go inside the gas station and ask for help. The interior was dimly lit, and the smell of dampness hung heavy in the air. The cashier, an old man with tired eyes, looked up as I entered. "We're closing soon," he mumbled, barely acknowledging my presence. "I need help," I stammered. "I saw something terrible on the road." The old man's expression changed, his eyes narrowing. "What did you see?" he asked, his voice now filled with an unsettling calmness. "I saw a hitchhiker, but they were not human. Their face was mutilated," I stammered, feeling the terror rise within me once again. The old man's eyes darted around the empty station before he spoke again, this time in a hushed tone. "You shouldn't have stopped," he said. "They are drawn to those who show fear. They feed on it." My heart pounded in my chest as I listened to his words, unsure of what to make of this strange revelation. "What do I do?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "You must leave," he said urgently. "They won't stop until they've consumed your fear, your soul." I didn't need any more convincing. I thanked the old man and hurried back to my car. With trembling hands, I turned the ignition and sped away, leaving the gas station and its cryptic warnings behind. The road ahead seemed to stretch on infinitely, and with every passing mile I feared encountering that grotesque hitchhiker again. The rain poured harder, obscuring my view, and the darkness seemed to close in around me. Suddenly, my headlights flickered, and the engine sputtered. I cursed under my breath as the car came to a halt right in the middle of the desolate road. My heart raced, and I knew I had to get the car running again. I stepped out into the rain, desperately trying to fix the issue. As I popped the hood open, I noticed a movement in my peripheral vision. My heart skipped a beat as I turned to see a figure standing by the side of the road. It was the hitchhiker.